Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ultimate Scum tutorial for beginners in 2023. This will be an in-depth tutorial where I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to prepare you for the upcoming update, which will be the 0.85 update, where I will be doing an ultimate guide at that point. But I just want to get you guys prepared and excited for the upcoming update. So today I'm going to teach you everything regarding your build when you get into Scum. Like before you enter any server, you're going to have to build your character. I'm going to be showing you the best build overall, the best PvP build, the best PvE build, and the best balanced build where you don't need to do any grinding. Whereas the best build and the PvP build and the PvE build will take some grinding with knowledge that I will be teaching you. Now, first of all, who am I? Why do you need to listen to me? I've been playing Scum on this Steam account for about 4,000 hours, and then on my previous Steam account that I gave to my son, I've got about 2,000 hours. So I've got about a combined 6,000 hours in Scum. But the way I play Scum is just figuring stuff out on a daily basis. So it's my passion. Survival games are my passion, and then helping people are one of my passions. So I spend most of my time figuring things out instead of just enjoying the game organically, okay? Because I enjoy the game by figuring various things out. What can I do for you in Scum? If you go to multiplayer and you type in my name, Luthais, and you go refresh, you will see that I have the learning curve hosted by Luthais for beginners. So this is a beginner server where we're going to do the how to play Scum or the ultimate guide series when 0.85 comes out. I've got a PvP server, Survival Evolved. I've got a PvE server called New Dawn. Then I've got a members only server called True Immersion. I've got the hardest server, in my opinion, in Scum, which is called the Meat Grinder. And then I've got a test server where I do daily tests. Okay, so a lot of options for you, and all my servers are based in Europe. Me personally, I'm from South Africa, so you can see the ping that I play with. And if you watch my streams, which I do 4 times a week, Mondays and Wednesdays I stream the Meat Grinder, and then Fridays and Saturdays I stream Survival Evolved, you will see that the ping doesn't really affect me that much. So Scum is definitely a fantastic game if you're worried about ping. Okay, so then below in the video, you will see my Discord link, which will help you a lot. If you join the Discord, you can you need to join the Discord or watch a video where I teach you the rules, or where I let you know what the rules are on my servers. And then, yeah, very excited to just introduce you to the best survival game on the planet. To get into it, there are 2 models in the game at the moment. So if we just go multiplayer, because I'm going to be doing this on my test server, just so that we can get through the videos as fast as possible, and so that I don't waste any time teaching you guys as fast as possible, because when the 0.85 update comes out, I will be doing the ultimate guide, or my best guide ever. I will be doing on the learning curve, or I'll be doing it on True Immersion. But, I'm still deciding on that. So let's just join the test server quickly. And then I'm just going to create a new character. Just gives you a warning. So here we are in the build, okay? So right at the top, you're going to get your character name, which you can change to whatever you want to change it. And then you get to your attributes. Now, your attributes are very, very important in Scum, because these values are the standard values that they give you. As soon as you start playing around with the values, you can specialize your build, but that's not what I want you guys to focus on today. What I want you guys to focus on is that if you choose all your attributes like this, 3 right through the bank, then it enables you to choose 4 skills that you can max out. if you don't, as you can see, to max out a skill in the building, in the character creation, to max it out, you need 3 points in a certain attribute. So this enables me to take an advanced skill in every attribute tree. Okay, so I can take rifles to advanced, running, I can take thievery, and then I can take medical, which is the best build in Scum at this moment. Don't know what the 0.85 update is going to bring out. We're going to be introduced to rocket launchers, so they might give us heavy weapons. They might open up the heavy weapon skill. We are going to get a new cooking system, so they might open up the cooking skill tree, or they'll connect it to survival like the previous versions of Scum. But this is the best overall build in Scum. For a solo player or a player or someone that plays in a clan, okay? Rifles is by far the strongest and the most used skill in strength. Constitution is by far the best, running is by far the best skill in your Constitution skill tree, which you use the most. Thievery is by far the most valuable skill and the worst skill to level up if you don't start with it in Scum, and it's very important for end game and raiding and kill boxes and everything. And then medical is also a very, very important skill, because there's only 2 skills in intelligence which takes you very long to level up, and that will be awareness and medical. But medical will take a lot longer because there are quite fast ways to level up awareness, and I will be teaching you how to level up all the other skills that I'm not including in the best build, okay? But the most important thing that I want to show you here is that if you take an advanced skill in all 4 attribute trees, then it's giving you 1,110,000 skill points for free when you start your build. Because to get to basic, you only need 10,000 skill points in game, which is very easy. To get to medium, you need 100 skill points, so you need to grind those skill points in game. And then to get to advanced, you need 1,000,000 skill points in game, which takes very, very long. So when you create your character, like the way I'm showing you here, by not changing any of the attributes, you are earning 1,110,000 skill points times 4, okay? Which gives you 4,440,000 skill points right from the start, which is a great option for anyone that will watch this tutorial and understand how to level up their other skills. Now, if you change that and you take 2 skills, so if you take skills to medium, you can level up 8 skills in total, because with the 3 skill points that we get, we can take 2 skills to medium. Okay, so for the best balanced build, we're going to take medium melee. This is now for beginners. Medium melee and medium archery. Then we're going to take medium running and medium endurance. Then we're going to take medium thievery and medium stealth, because that's quite important if you want to deal with sentries in the game. And then we're going to take medium survival and medium engineering. Okay, so this is the best balanced build for beginners, which requires almost no grinding. You can play the game very naturally like this without grinding any skills at all. Then when it comes to the PvP build, this is quite straightforward, but again, like I say, it's only this balanced build that you see right in front of you here, where it doesn't take any knowledge of the game or how to grind certain skills or how to level up all the skills very easily. You can do most things in the game without any struggles when you take this balanced build. Now, when we switch over to the PvP build, you're again going to take rifles because it's very, very important. You're going to take running again because it's still the best overall skill in the game. Then you're going to take stealth, because this will help you a lot not to get detected by players or sentries or puppets. Okay, it's going to help you a lot with stealth, which is important for PvP. And then the last skill for the best PvP build will be medical, because you're probably going to get shot a lot and you're probably going to need to heal yourself quite a lot. Or the one that I like to take with the PvP build is awareness, because not only are players going to struggle to hear me, because of advanced awareness, I can cut out all the ambient sounds in the game with focus mode. It's a certain mode in the game where you can see a passive compass if you started with survival, or where you cut out all ambient sound because of awareness. So it's much easier to hear your enemies, much more difficult for them to hear you. You can catch them or run away from them, and you can shoot them just as well as they can shoot you. And then later you can level up sniping and camouflage, and you can level up the sniping and the camouflage quite easily, because if you want to be a sniper, then you at least need to level up sniping, but that doesn't take too long. And then when we're looking at all our PvE players, which I've been testing for quite a while on the meat grinder, I have decided that melee weapons is by far the best skill to start on a PvE server where you don't need to worry about players and the puppets are increased and their damage is increased. To the whole server is just based on challenging you with PvE only, with no PvP aspects to the game. So then melee weapons is the most important, because you can level up archery very fast, which I will show you as well in the next tutorial. And then endurance is quite important, just to combine with your melee weapon skill, because you're not really going to run away from many puppets with an advanced melee weapon skill. And the endurance will help you to regain your endurance your stamina very quickly, okay? Because endurance affects how fast you regain your stamina, and it affects how fast your body burns through food and water, which is also very important on a PvE server. And then stealth is very important, again, for the sentries, which a lot of people struggle with. And then for the intelligence tree, I made it survival, just so that you've got a passive compass right from the start, and you can just do everything a lot faster. Okay, so it just makes the starting for you much easier. But I mean, you can take here what you want. Engineering is a good option, and awareness is a good option. I've just decided on survival, because you want on a PvE server where the loot is probably set low, like on the meat grinder, you want to craft. Survival enables you to have that passive compass that helps you a lot, but it enables you to craft a lot of things that you'll need in the beginning to survive. Okay, so this is the build that I'm gonna do on the meat grinder next time I die, because I am busy with the 1 life challenge. So yeah, that is the 4 best builds in Scum, guys. Now I'm just gonna give you a quick breakdown of the attributes and the skills. Okay, so first of all, we've got strength. You can level it up from 1 to 8. All the other skills, you can only level up constitution and dexterity in game to 5, and you can choose to have 5 intelligence in the character creation screen, but you can't level up intelligence in the game. So just be very aware of that. So if you want to play around with numbers or with your attribute numbers, then rather just play around with these 3 until they enable us to level up intelligence in game as well. Okay, but that's why I always say this: the standard 3 right through the bank is by far the best, for the reasons that I told you about. So if we look at strength, it's the most powerful skill in the game, because it's the only skill that you can level up to 8, and it's got a ton of advantages. For instance, it gives you an increased melee weapon damage, okay, faster swing speed with heavy weapons. It gives you more carry weight before your effective performance score gets affected. So in the game, you can carry as much weight as you want on you, but if you go over your maximum carrying capacity, which is affected by your strength, then your performance score goes down. So you run slower, you jog slower, you're just doing everything slower. So having high strength is very important for you to be able to carry more and perform all your actions at the best performance possible. better recoil control, okay? Strength is not the biggest thing that affects recoil control, although I've personally never hit a character with 8 strength, but I've gone up to 7. But if we aren't including endgame, then your rifle skill has a bigger effect on your recoil control than your strength, but strength also helps. And then can instantly break a locker open at 7 strength, okay? So once you go past 7 strength and you started with advanced thievery, like I told you to do for the best build possible, then you'll be able to open lockers instantly in the world, which you usually need to have a lockpick. Or if you use a crowbar, it's going to take you between 1 minute and 15 seconds and 45 seconds. Once you go over 7 strength, you'll be able to open them instantly, which helps you a ton in the game so that you don't have to have screwdrivers on you to open up a cargo drop or all the lockers or to find a key card. It's just got a heck of a lot of advantages, okay? Then when we go to Constitution, you can level it up from 1 to 5, and it's got a lot to do with your survival and resistances, okay? So your Constitution is combined to your health, so as you level it up, you get increased health, you get increased stamina, your damage and resistances to effects are much, much better. Like with 5 Constitution, you'll almost never suffer with infections, or PvE elements or statuses, where if you start with 1 Constitution, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, okay? So Constitution has a lot of effects on that. Very important for your immune system, very important for your calorie and your water consumption efficiency, very powerful against infections, like I said. You can run and jog further, the higher your Constitution is, and you use less water and food, the higher your Constitution is, okay? Then if we go and look at Dexterity can also be leveled up from 1 to 5. It's got a lot to do with speed and skills in the game. You can run faster, you can hit faster, you can craft faster, you can reload faster, and you've got the ability to start with advanced thievery, which is priceless because thievery is the worst skill in the game to level up, and like I say, it's very important for endgame. And then stealth is crucial, of course, which is a dexterity skill. It's crucial versus sentries, which bother a lot of players, okay? Then if we go look at the intelligence tree, you can also level it up from 1 to 5. It affects your squad size. So on official servers, if you take 5 intelligence, you can have a squad size of 10. Although on most private servers, which you would want to play on, like mine or any other private servers, they usually have it the same. So it doesn't really matter what your intelligence is. But for official servers, for now, it just increases your squad size. But I mean, it's got 7 very important skills to it. Just like Dexterity has got 7 important skills. But I do feel the 7 skills in intelligence is by far the best combination of skills, okay? Which makes intelligence like the tree with the most important skill set in it. Now, if we go look at the different skills, brawling, with importance, like, do I want to start with brawling? I'm going to tell you whether the skill is a low priority, medium priority, or a high priority, okay? So brawling is a low priority. I've done dozens of tests on this. It basically lets you hand combat, it affects your hand combat speed, it affects your available combos, and it affects your block power. Not in any major way, okay? So for now, with how the game is at the moment, not worth it at all. Then we go into rifles. Rifles is a high priority. For me, it's the best skill in the strength tree. It affects your recoil control in a major way. And then it affects faster magazine reload time. So in the game, you literally have to put every bullet into your magazine, okay? So it affects that speed. Faster ADS time, aiming down your sights, okay, and then much better shooting accuracy, okay. So it's just very, very important, and it is going to be the skill that you use most in the game. Then if we go look at melee weapons basically just makes it so that you attack faster with the melee weapon. and then available combos. It says that it affects the weapon damage when you go look at the tooltip in game, but I've tested this. It has no major, it has there's no difference to write home about. It's like a 10%, you know, you attack like 10 or 20% faster, and the damage is like 20% more. Okay, so absolutely nothing to write home about. But I do feel once you hit 8 strength with advanced melee, you know, and you use heavy weapons, which most people don't. Most people use a dao or a katana, you know, so people aren't really prone to use heavy, slow weapons. So in that case, it's got a low priority for me. But again, on a PvE build, it's very important. Then if we go to handguns, it's also a low priority for me. It's same as rifles, okay, but way less needed to be effective. So it also helps with ADS time and recoil, but you don't really get recoil on handguns if you time your shots right. And it's just, yeah, I won't ever put points into handguns because you'll level it up passively and you can still be very effective without it. Then if we go to archery, archery is a medium skill, which at the end of the day is a really nice skill and is one of my favorites, but we're going to put it at medium. What archery affects is using bows at different poundages, okay? And again, a lot of people think it's your strength that affects what kind of bow you can use, but strength does have an effect, but it's mostly archery, which affects what kind of bow you can use. So if you can't use a certain bow, just keep killing puppets and level up your archery, and then you'll be able to use it without really, leveling up your strength. So that is the strength skill. Then if we go to running, running has a very high priority. As you can see, it was included in most of my builds. And as I'm talking about this, we're going to prepare ourselves for when we go onto the island with the best build possible. Okay, so that's the best build possible. So yeah, running influences your stamina consumption when jogging or running, which is very, very important. It affects how fast you run, how fast you jog, and like I said, it's the best skill. Then when we go to endurance, it affects the stamina recovery rate, which is very important, and you use energy slower and you consume water slower. Okay, so energy is if you eat food, it gets converted into energy, and if you drink water, of course, it converts into water. But endurance makes it so that you use your energy slower when you're doing actions, and you use your water slower. Then if we go through to thievery is by far for me the best end game skill in the game, and something you definitely need to get into right from the start instead of just ignoring it and being frustrated by it, because I'm going to let you start with advanced, which will make it a lot easier for you. So the priority level is very high, and what it affects is your time to lockpick, so how many seconds you get to lockpick a lock, the level of pressure before the lockpick breaks, which is very, very important, so it gives you more time to feather a lock, which I will also tell you about in the guide. It affects the sweet spot size, so where the lock will actually open, and the pick break time. Okay, it also affects when your pick will be broken, but the lockpick that you use has a bigger effect on that. Thievery also has an effect on that, but the quality of the lockpick that you use will have a bigger effect on that. And then, like I say, for me personally, it's the best end game skill. Then when we move to demolition, okay, I just skipped the skill, yeah. When we move to demolition, then demolition is for me medium to high, okay, depending on what you focus on. But I put it at high personally for me. It affects the explosive diffuse time. So when you raid a base, you're going to have to defuse mines. When you want to craft C4, you're going to have to defuse suicide puppets. When you do a kill box, you're going to have to defuse wires in there. So it affects how much time you have to defuse those wires, which is very important. Sometimes it gives you extra defuse attempt, although I haven't really encountered that a lot. It affects this explosive damage, which I haven't really gone into in depth, okay, because explosives do a heck of a lot of damage, but maybe I'll add it to the list of just the few skills that I want to do a little bit more research on. And then the trigger radius on traps, which is also very important. It makes the radius where someone's going to trigger your trap bigger, which makes it much more difficult for them to like defuse it without worrying about dying, okay? And then the reason I skip driving is because driving, motorcycling, and aviation, I'm putting more or less in the same area. In the past, past updates of Scum, your driving and your motorcycling skill had a major effect on how fast your vehicle could drive, which was quite hectic. Had a big effect on your driving experience. But these days, I don't know if they're going to change it, but I mean, I'm giving you a tutorial on how Scum is at the moment, so it doesn't really affect how fast your vehicle drives. The only thing that the driving, motorcycling, and aviation skill does is better handling and start times. So you will start your bike, car, or airplane faster, which might help you in some situations, because if someone hears you trying to start the vehicle because you've got no driving skill, it will give them more time to kill you, so that can save your life in a few instances. But I mean, the more you drive, the more you will naturally level it up. So in my opinion, driving, motorcycling, and aviation, the only way the skills makes it easier is by handling the vehicle better and starting it faster, okay? So very low priority for me right through the bank. Yeah, very, very low priority for me through the bank. Throwing is also a very low priority for me. Not a lot of people use it except when they throw grenades or something like that. So it affects your throwing accuracy, your throwing speed, and your throwing arc. I think in the last test I did a few months ago, when you hold in your throw button with advanced throwing, then it will give you an arc, like a line where you're throwing to, which helps a lot. But I mean, not a lot of people use it. And then when we go to stealth, then stealth is a very, very high, very, very important skill because of sentries. And of course AI, and of course PvP, but more for sentries. A lot of servers take sentries out of the servers because a lot of people struggle with sentries. And stealth is your biggest weapon against sentries, because once you've got like advanced stealth, then you only have to worry about a sentry sight, them seeing you. But if you don't start with at least medium stealth, then it's not only their sight, but their hearing, which is going to alert them of you, which is going to cause you a lot of problems and deaths, okay? So that's very, very, very important. So yeah, it's basically just the sound that you produce while moving, which is extremely important. Then if we get to the intelligence tree, we've got awareness. I also give it a high importance score. You can cut out all ambient sounds and highlight loot from further away with focus mode, okay? Again, when you cut out all the other ambient sounds around you, it's much easier to pinpoint a sentry's location, a puppet's location, or a player's location, which is very crucial for me. And then great for tracking fish and animals. So with advanced awareness, or maybe medium, with a high awareness skill, when you hold focus mode, you can track animals. You can see where they stepped, if they're injured, if they're bleeding. And when you fish with high awareness, you'll be able to see where you're able to catch fish easier, like fishing spots, which is very, very nice. Then if we go to sniping, sniping is very important for snipers because the range check speed is faster. So what range check speed is, if you aim down the sight, you can range find. So if the guy's 400 meters away, every scope will always start at 100 meters. But if you see a player very, very far away from you, you need to set the scope to counter the distance. Okay, so you need to know exactly how far that player is away so that you can set the scope to the distance that he is away, so that the bullet will correct itself to still land on him. With no sniping skill, that is very, very difficult to do. Actually, with no sniping skill, at certain distances, you won't even be able to use it. Where with advanced sniping, you know, it will give you the range very, very fast, and you'll be a lot more effective with a sniper rifle. And then it affects the how long you can hold your breath, which is also extremely important in Scum. Then if we go to camouflage, I didn't give it a high skill, I gave it a broken skill. When you lie down in a bush and you don't move, and when I say move, you don't go forward and backwards, you can still turn in a circle on a pivot, but if you lie down in a bush with advanced camouflage, then you will disappear for other players until you shoot, or like I say, change the location where you're at. Like move a little bit right or a little bit left, you will reappear again. So it literally lets you disappear. And they say it makes it difficult for NPCs to see you, which I haven't really done any in-depth research on. Then if we go to survival, I think it's very, very important, especially for new players. Gives you a passive compass when you hold your control button. So with basic survival, it will give you north. With medium survival, it will give you north, west, southeast. And then with advanced survival, I don't think it goes more than that. Then you'll need to start crafting compasses or finding compasses to give you more of a combat compass kind of effect. And then crafting, it gives you a lot of crafting recipes, which is very, very important. And I'll go a lot more in depth into this skill in my upcoming 0.85 ultimate guide, because again, it's one of the skills that I feel I need to put a lot more research into to understand if it's just got the things that the tooltip is giving you, which the tooltips are very outdated. So I'll do extra research for you guys to see if those tooltips are telling you everything you need to know. When it comes to engineering, again, for some people it's the highest, it's the most, not for me, but for most people it's the most important skill in the game. It affects the number of materials that you need for base building elements. So if I've got no engineering and I build a wall, I'm going to need a lot more planks and logs. I'm going to need more resources to build that wall than a guy with advanced engineering, which helps a lot with looting, or getting the resource that you need for that base. So when you've completed the base at concrete, the guy that started with advanced engineering is going to beat you by about 40% efficiency with how many parts he needed to use versus you. Then influences the repairing quality, your charging and refueling speed, like charging batteries or refueling your car. And then just, again, things that the tooltip doesn't tell you is you need basic engineering to repair armor, like a vest or a helmet. And then you need medium to repair a car with a car jack. And of course, you'll need a vehicle repair kit as well. And then you need advanced engineering to upgrade your base building elements to the maximum level. And then when we go to medical, I also give a very high priority. What it does for you is faster stabilization speed, which is very, very important, and the number of items required to heal or treat that wound is extremely important as well. So if you start with no medical skill and a player shoots you or a meg shoots you, which gives you a C4 wound, you're gonna need, depending on what quality your rags are on or whether you've got antiseptic rags, but let's just say you're using very good rags. If you're using bad rags, you might use 10 rags to heal that wound, where a guy with advanced medical is only gonna use 3 rags to heal that wound. So if you're using good equipment to heal yourself, someone without a medical skill is gonna need like 4 or 5 antiseptic rags, where a guy with advanced is going to need like 1 or 2. Okay, so it makes a massive difference in healing speed, which will save your life a lot. So again, for me, very, very important. And then when we get to the farming skill, this also helps a lot of players that's PvE related or doesn't want to go search for their food. Instead of searching the entire map for corn or potatoes or all the stuff that you can get across the map, you can literally just plant it yourself. And the biggest thing about the farming skill is the difference between no farming skill and advanced is the amount of produce that you get when you search that, the crop that grew successfully. So a guy with no farming skill can plant 20 corn, but then when he searches it, he finds nothing. Where a person with advanced farming, when he searches that same crop, he's going to get a lot more yield, which for me is the most important aspect about farming. The other aspects that's not so important is the speed of actions, like the speed at which you water the crops, the speed at which you add soil to it, all the action speeds in crafting, and then the chance of success, which also the tooltip also doesn't tell you, but according to me, the chance of your crop not dying, okay, is also related to your farming skill, but mostly related to you, taking care of your crop with pesticide or herbicide, or anti-weed spray or whatever the case may be. So yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to make this video 10 minutes, but after 10 times, or I don't know, after numerous attempts, I just said F it. Okay, at some point you just have to go F it, because to make this the first part 10 minutes, I had to cut this into 3 parts, which I don't really think is necessary. But in the ultimate guide, when 0.85 comes out, I will be giving you guys very fancy overlays and explaining these concepts a lot more in depth. But for now, I just want to prepare you for the upcoming 0.85 update, which I think is going to be epic. So if you appreciated the information, click the thumbs up. If you found it boring, click the thumbs down. And if you want to see and learn everything there is to see and learn about Scum, then just click the subscribe button. And like I say, you can join any of my servers, except for the member server, which you need a member to join. I'm very excited about the 0.8 update, and I'll be making a video of that tomorrow to get you guys hyped with me. And then I'll be making videos, I'll be making the next part of the tutorial within the next 1 or 2 days. Have a wonderful day, guys, and yes, hope I can help you to enjoy this game just like me. Cheers.